So Trump shares call for Don Lemon's imprisonment over Minnesota church protest coverage. Rob, if you want to play this clip, and because Don Lemon's like, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know who the people were outside. That's how he got him in trouble, because there's a clip of him outside with the people before even the protesting happened in the church. So he knew exactly what was going on. You'll see this clip here in a minute, but here's the president. Go ahead, Rob.
Remember, known as one of the toughest people around.
Mm-hmm.
These are tough people. So this is what the people are trying to protect, because all ICE wants to do is get them out of our country, bring them to prisons and jails and mental institutions from where they came. That's all they want to do. They're patriots, and they have to be abused by guys like Don Lemon, who's a loser, lightweight. I saw him the way he walked in that church. It was terrible. I have such respect for that pastor. He was so calm. He was so nice. He was just accosted. What they did in that church was horrible yesterday. Look at it here. 24 convictions. 24 times convicted. They're not charges. These are convictions. So he comes from outside the country. Do you think he's going to be good here? He's convicted 24 times. He's going to be good here, right? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, so that's that. Now, Rob, if you can play the clip of Don Lemon afterwards pleading with the audience saying, I had no idea what was going on. Nicki Minaj gets involved. Go ahead, Rob.
And her response to all of this and the language that she used. I think it's interesting just because Nicki has been, over the last couple of months, made it clear that she is now publicly supporting, and I think maybe she has all along, but now publicly making known her support for the Trump administration and even the MAGA movement. The choice of words that she used to go after you, I'm not surprised she went after you.
It's homophobic.
Yeah. I don't think you have to black it out. You should show it to people. She called me Don,
Harvey.
Sucker Lemon is disgusting.
Virtue signaler.
This is what I'll say to Nicki Minaj. I normally don't respond to things like this, but, F it. I'm going to do it this time. I think Nicki Minaj has made it very clear how she feels about African Americans in this country. I don't think she's one of them, obviously. And she should, under Trump's rules, she should be deported, because I don't think, reportedly, that she is a legal citizen here. She is undocumented. And so she has shown her disdain for African Americans. So why are you supporting her? Why are you buying her records?
Rob,
she's also supporting.
You don't need to show this clip. The clip I want to show is of him saying that I didn't know what was going on. That's the clip. So if you play this clip here, just play the first 10 seconds. Go ahead.
To that organization? I didn't even know they were going to this church.
I didn't even know they're going into this church.
Wasn't this you right before it?
They're getting the operation together. Again, this is an
Right
operation
before.
that is secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show.
Now, you can pause it right there. By the way, the video goes long of him talking to them and saying, turn off the camera. I don't want people to hear what they're saying before they go into the church. He literally tells his own camera guy to turn. Is this it, Rob?
I believe so.
Can you play this clip, please?
Into Minneapolis a little bit ago and did some reconnaissance on the ground. I'm speaking to an organization there that's gearing up for resistance and protest. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the community coming together. Diverse community. If you see this, when we first pulled up, we're like, wait a minute, which
Can you go to the end of the clip where he says, turn off the camera, turn off the camera?
We're like, well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? So the American flag or whatever, but these are resistance protesters. They're planning an operation that we're going to follow them on. I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull Up, and it's Takima Armstrong, and she has been doing this since George Floyd.
So pause it right there. I thought you didn't know that that's what they're going to be doing. So now, here's CNN asking one of their own, what can happen to the folks that went into the church, and watch what she had to say. Go ahead, Rob.
What does the law say about protesting in a church like this?
Yeah, the law says that these protesters are in trouble. There's a federal statute called FACE, F-A-C-E, that says if you interfere or physically obstruct another person's First Amendment right to exercise their freedom of practicing their religion, it is a federal crime. Now, had these protesters stood outside the church, been on the sidewalk, been on the street, they likely would have been protected by their First Amendment right to protest. But you're allowed to protest in a public forum, but that right is not absolute. They crossed the line when they went inside a church. And I think of it almost like, a church is public property. Imagine if protesters went inside a hospital to protest Medicaid or health policy and interrupted treatment of patients. It's really not that different.
What does the law say?
You can pause it right there. James, when you hear what Don Lemon is doing here, what do you say?
Don Lemon should be arrested before the sun sets tonight. There's no question that he and the BLM Antifa activists who went in there, that was effectively an insurrection. They were coming in there, violently protesting, intimidating Christian parishioners. And I think, at the end of the day, we have to take care of ourselves. I go to church every single Sunday. I bring a firearm with me. I carry every single time I go to church, because if something like that were to go down, I'm not waiting for the police to show up. We are going to defend ourselves. And this is a perfect example. We can't wait for DC, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, to solve our problems. We sometimes can't even wait for law enforcement to get there in time. We have to be willing and able to defend ourselves. And I'll tell you, if that would have happened in Florida, we would have shot back.
We would have shot back, especially if it was in Polk County. We would have shot back 68 times.
68 times.
Yes.
And why did we stop? Because we ran out of bullets.
Right.
No, but seriously, who were these people? Look, if you want to protest outside of a church, I think that's disgraceful, but that's protected under the First Amendment. You want to protest outside of a hospital, whatever, do whatever you want. But to come into a church on Sunday where you've got little kids cowering in fear when we are supposed to be hearing the gospel of our Lord and Savior, and Don Lemon is coming there with Antifa, they should have been immediately removed. And if they didn't, they should have been shot. That's just the truth.
Tom.
Yeah, so a couple things here. And I think Don Lemon, who's currently in the career orphanage, running his own podcast out there, a man without a contract, a man without a country. And he's looking for things like this. He's trying to cover it. But let me reflect back on something. They're saying, this is not so, the face laws are not so big. Don Lemon won't be arrested. He won't be put in jail. You really shouldn't do that. All of that, guess what? They're all having to comment on it because it's a legitimate situation that Don finds himself in. Well, let me reflect something else. Don Lemon, when he covered Fani Willis, remember, you may not think it's a big crime. Remember Fani Willis? You may not think it's a significant crime, but we in Georgia think the president has committed a crime, and we would like to see him arrested, prosecuted, and incarcerated. And Don Lemon was there cheering. Well, she's saying which that's her job. She's supposed to, you don't have to like the crime. You don't have to like what's going on, but that could be the consequence. Could Donald Trump really be in jail? Well, guess what, Don Lemon? You're on the other side of it now. How does it feel? How does it feel? And by the way, if you're going to do this, don't be so disingenuous and get caught like this. Don Lemon also got caught. Not only did he apparently break the law, he got caught, denying that he was there, denying what he knew. And so to me is really, really unfortunate. It's disappointing. Once upon a time, I really appreciated a report he did where he was speaking to the African-American community and about youth. And I really appreciated that.
That was a long time ago, Tom.
It's been a very long time ago.
Don Lemon.
But I'm saying once upon a time, there was a Don Lemon there that I objectively looked at and said, wow, that's a reporter really saying something there. Yep. And now we've come all the way to this where he could support and cover the Fani Willis story, saying maybe Trump should be in jail on a small charge, and now he's having to defend himself. I think that's very, very ironic.
When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscan Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.